Madam, we are very much in support of this bill, which aims to address the challenge posed by fugitive economic offenders. In recent years, we have had very high profile economic offenders flee our shores and then taunt us in foreign lands how they are beyond the reach of the Indian law. Therefore, the intent of this law is good, but I want to give the Finance Minister a series of practical suggestions on how to improve this law because unfortunately it happens to be flawed in various dimensions. The very first point, madam, is that this is a law that is aimed at dealing with offenders who are leaving the country. So, really, the effectiveness of such a law will be when it prevents even a single economic offender from fleeing the country from now on. But what steps is the government taking? What moves are being made to track potential fugitives and to find ways to ensure that they are actually prevented from leaving? That is not at all clear. It seems to be a law that is only focused on curative aspects on dealing with the problems after it has occurred. A good law will also prevent the problem from happening. Now, when you think about other kind of issues, one other problem which the chairman also flagged is about extradition. We need to have much better extradition process, but that is really not in place. That is something that I would like the finance minister to tell us about. What kind of progress has been made? Madam, our prime minister goes to so many countries and all the time. Why does he not go to those countries which are sheltering fugitive economic offenders? Why does not he use the might of the Indian economy to ask those countries to change their laws to allow us to recoup our fugitive economic offenders and also to prevent them from taking citizenship of other countries when their countries know that they are wanted in our country for economic crimes? That would be the best use of this kind of personal diplomacy. On the other hand, we have symbolic measures but not really anything that is actually translating into outcomes. The same problem related to extradition arises in the context of confiscation of property. One of the other aspects of this bill is that when somebody is declared a fugitive economic offender, his or her property in this country and also abroad can be confiscated. Why will a foreign jurisdiction allow Indian law to apply there if one is involved in a civil case? They may be willing to do that only in the context of criminal cases. So these are all nuances which the finance minister must iron out. Otherwise, we will be left with a toothless law which says a lot or which actually barks but does not bite. That is the real challenge in this particular bill. Then again, madam, many of the objections that foreign countries will have in extraditing people back to India would be dependent on various concerns. The present Indian conditions and other kinds of issues. Mehul Bhai has just come up with an argument that lynching in India is going to prevent him from coming back. That is the danger. So, it will be good for the government to tackle or anticipate and tackle many of these objections that will be proffered by fugitive economic offenders and by governments abroad who will not necessarily and easily release people back to India given some of the concerns about our own justice system. So the government should really put in a lot of effort to fix these problems in anticipation. Madam, there are other major flaws. Our finance minister would know very well that it is not just an individual. We like to say, we like to take the name of our old colleague Vijay Mallya. We will like to talk about Nirav Modi, Mehul Choksi, Jatin Mehta. These have been the prominent names in recent times, and some of them, of course, have been photographed or partying with the leadership of the ruling party. But the basic point is this: these offences do not occur in a vacuum. So the basic point is a lot of officials, government officials, bankers are also conniving with these offenders to make these crimes possible. What action is being taken against that nexus? The issue is there is also a web of holding companies, hidden assets, lots of other things that will be used by these offenders before they leave. What is here that will tackle any of that? Nothing is here. We need to fix that. Then multiple people have already flagged the issue of constitutional violations. Madam, it is entirely possible for a person to have his assets confiscated without actually being tried and convicted. This would be unconstitutional, and again, on that very basis, this law would be thrown out, and then we will have gone through this entire exercise for nothing. Nothing will be the result of the whole exercise.